What's up, movie crew? Welcome to the latest Let's Rank. Over the last few days, A24 have put out X on physical media. Their latest theatrical release, Men, is now in theaters and debuted at number 5. And Everything, Everywhere, All at Once has surpassed Uncut Gems to be the highest domestic grossing A24 film to date. So I thought I would do a quick ranking video telling everyone my personal top 5 A24 movies. Before I get to that, if you are new to this channel, my name is Luke. This channel is Let's Watch a Movie, and if you are into anything movie and physical media related, you've come to the right place, so hit that subscribe button. Alright, so before I get into my top 5, I do want to give 2 honorable mentions in this video. First one's the one I just showed, which is X. Great movie. For those that don't know, a prequel has been announced. I very much love this movie because it reminds me of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is my favorite slasher film ever. Another honorable mention I've got to give a shout out to, Uncut Gems. After watching this, I completely and fully understand why this was the first A24 film to hit Criterion. And this is the 4K release for anyone that is wondering. So without further ado, my top 5 A24 films. Number 5. We got Locke with Tom Hardy. So Tom Hardy plays a character that even though he's a loving husband and father, he has an affair with a woman, and it turns out that she is pregnant with his child. He leaves work to go to the hospital to be there for the birth of his child because he did not grow up with his father, so he wants to be a father figure to his illegitimate child. On the car ride from his workplace to the hospital, he's receiving numerous phone calls from his wife, his children, his co-workers, the people that he's got a contract under, all while just trying to go to the hospital. The reason I had to put this one in my top 5 is because other than a couple of voice roles here and there, for the entire movie, it is Tom Hardy inside a car. The fact that Tom Hardy was able to keep my attention for the entirety of this movie should say something. I also want to point out, if you've seen some of my review videos, and you know that I have a huge issue with movies overstaying their welcome with their runtime. This is an hour and 15 minutes. And it does not let down. So if you've not seen it before, I highly recommend seeing this movie. It is very good, and even if you don't like it, it is one of the shorter movies I have seen in recent years. Number 4. Good Time. Alright, when Robert Pattinson was first announced as Batman, this was a movie that everyone kept saying, if you don't believe Pattinson can pull off playing Batman, check this movie out. Now, I'd seen a couple other movies from Robert Pattinson, so I knew he was going to be capable of at least doing the Bruce Wayne stuff. Turns out I was wrong. He was actually better Batman than Bruce Wayne. But we're not here to talk Batman. We're here to talk Robert Pattinson and Good Time. This movie is suspenseful, it keeps you on the edge of your seat, and it keeps you entertained the entire time. And yes, this is definitely one of Robert Pattinson's best performances as an actor. So to those that can't get over the fact that he did Twilight, you clearly have not watched this. And I stand behind that. Number 3. Zola. So I'm going to be honest with you, I did not know that this was initially based off of a series of tweets from the real life Zola, which in this case was played by Taylor Page. I just thought it was probably something I wouldn't be interested in seeing, and then I kept seeing reviews for it. It's good, it's worth watching, you gotta check it out. So I did, and I am glad I did because this movie is great. It's funny, it's got dark humor in it, it's suspenseful, it's got so much wild and crazy things happening that it's hard to believe that it's actually based on a real life story. In fact, I actually liked this movie so much that I bought the book that A24 released that's got the series of tweets that the real life Zola put on Twitter telling her story about what happened when she thought she was just going somewhere dancing for a weekend. This movie is insane, it's crazy, it's inspired by true events too. I highly recommend checking this one out because you're going to be thinking some crazy stuff while watching it, but it's worth checking out. So my number 2 movie is currently not available on physical media at the moment. It's got a release date, but with everything going on, I kind of felt like I needed to put this video out now instead of waiting for its physical release. Hopefully this shows up on camera. Everything, everywhere, all at once. This movie is insane. It is the best multiverse movie to ever be released, and I stand behind that. I'm a Marvel fan, and I will put this over Marvel and DC stuff. Keep that in mind. But this movie goes in places that you don't really see a lot of the multiverse or parallel universe things do. Obviously, the big one that everyone knows is the hot dog fingers. I will give another one that does happen. There's one where she ends up on a planet where water and oxygen aren't there. So she's a rock. She's literally a rock in the middle of a barren wasteland because human life can't exist on that planet. It is so good. It is crazy, it is insane, but at the same time, there is a beautiful family story and a beautiful love story all intertwined in this one movie. It literally has everything in it. Now, before I get to my number 1 A24 movie, my brief little recap. At number 5, Locke. At number 4, Good Time. At number 3, Zola. Number 2, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. I'm going to let everyone down right now before I reveal this. My number 1 is not Hereditary, and it's not The Witch. As a matter of fact, I'm not even a fan of either of those movies. Yeah, I'm aware. I'm committing A24 blasphemy right now. Now, if you've seen my A24 collection or one of my previous review videos, then you already know what my number 1 is. If you're new to this, hit that subscribe button. But my number 1 A24 movie is Ex Machina. This was actually my introduction to A24. I recently rewatched it because Alex Garland's latest movie, Men, had just hit theaters, so I rewatched Ex Machina and watched Annihilation for the first time. And watching this did reaffirm that this is indeed my favorite A24 movie. It's got a manipulative story, it's got crazy sci-fi in it, it's got weird twists and turns, it goes American Psycho in a couple of scenes. Not to mention, this is probably one of the more different roles I think I've personally seen when it goes to Oscar Isaac's performance. So seeing him in a different role compared to what I've seen him in with some of the other stuff, especially the stuff he's taken on lately, was cool. But this still stands as my favorite A24 movie. It keeps my attention. It's one of those things where normally when I'm at home watching a movie, I might be on my computer. I might check stuff on my phone. This falls under the list of movies where when I'm watching it, I'm not doing anything else other than watching the movie. And there's only a handful of movies that can do that with me, and this is one of them. And as I mentioned, this was also my introduction to A24. So Alex Garland, Oscar Isaac, the two of you were the main reasons I checked this one out. Thank you, because you've gotten me into discovering a lot of movies that are not adaptations or sequels. And this definitely falls on the list of one of my favorite sci-fi films. But that's going to do it for this one. If you are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button. You like what you see, leave a thumbs up. Comment down below, what are your top 5 A24 movies to be released? But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you all for watching, and tune in next time.